Hey everyone, meteorologist Aaron Tuttle here with you. Time for another Facebook Live. Let's give a few seconds for this whole thing to populate and for people to start tuning in. If you're watching the replay later on at this moment in time, you can see that you can watch this at any point in time on your computer or phone or share it. It stays up there forever. So earlier this evening, a couple hours ago, I did a Facebook Live from Walmart. And I've never given the weather forecast from Walmart before, but it happened. It wasn't planned. I was going there for a milk and bread run too, just to just see what all the nonsense was about. So if you missed that video as to whether or not all the milk and bread is gone at the Walmart that I went to, just scroll down my Facebook page wall and you'll see it's the next video down. It's 4 minutes of just pure nonsense that you might enjoy. So anyway. So once again, I'm meteorologist Aaron Tuttle. It's another Facebook Live over the snowstorm coming in. Already working its way in here tonight. Moving into central Oklahoma as we speak. There's some flurries out there. We'll show you those on radar and then talk about what the latest computer data is. And I got news for you. This storm system has been a fun one to try to forecast because it keeps throwing monkey wrenches in the equation at the last possible minute. What does that mean? Is that good news or bad news? Well, we'll get to that here in just a second. So alright, so it looks like the Facebook Live's rolling. A lot of you joined in. So, without further ado, let's get down to business. Okay, first thing I do want to show you is the, let me see here if I can get this on here. Okay, this will be the radar screen. So on the radar screen, we actually have some very light flurries. They're up around 6,000-7,000 feet for most of the lift is with this particular storm. In other words, a rising motion squeezing out the moisture. And so we already have some light flurry activity here approaching the west side of the metro, around Hinton, Weatherford. So don't be surprised if you guys walk outside your door and you start to see some flurries coming down from the sky. That is just the beginning of what's going to be moving on in. Okay, so we got that taken care of. Now on to business. And let's see, I want to show you the timeline here for the bulk of the precipitation. Again, not the flurries out there now, but as the whole thing kind of comes into play. This is starting around 9 o'clock, so basically now. As we go through time, it shows this first wave moving through the body of the state. In central Oklahoma, hugging that I-40 corridor we talked about for days on end here, it seems. That will continue to progress overnight through midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, moderate to heavy snow. Quickly moves into eastern Oklahoma during the early morning hours, so that by the time most of you wake up, we got a few flurries out there between the 5 and 6 o'clock hour. And then that stuff wraps up pretty quickly. And then we have the second wave that moves in later in the morning into the early afternoon, and that'll move on through, provide another coating of snow. Then that's out of here by Friday, basically 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's pretty much exiting the state, with a few flurries extending all the way down to Dallas-Fort Worth. So again, that's the forecast as we go into the next 24 hours. As far as temperatures go, yeah, cold. I mean, if you stepped outside today, it's nasty. You don't want to do that. So that's not going to change any. Now, what is changing, and this is just the short term, I mean, this is the shortest term, highest resolution models that we now have access to. And they're the ones throwing the monkey wrench into the equation. And what concerns me here is the QPF. QPF is the quantitative liquid, well, I can't even speak tonight, precipitation. It's basically a liquid equivalent. If you were to melt anything that's frozen and melt it all down just to liquid water, how much would it measure? So we could do that with snow. Well, in this particular case, this scale is between 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 inch of liquid equivalent. And that is right over the metro and then points west along I-40. Now, you're asking me, okay, that would equate to what, 1/4 of an inch of rain or maybe 1/2 inch of rain? Big deal, right? True, if it was rain, but unfortunately it's not rain at all, it's snow. Now, the question is the snow ratio. Here's the other thing. Models continue to up the snow ratio. So the snow ratio for this first round, coming in at midnight to around 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, is 15 to 1. And I could have swore, yeah, here we go, even 20 to 1 in some cases moving through. So a 21 ratio, that's like double what your QPF is going to be. After this wave moves out, another wave moves in, it's 25 to 1. What that means is you only have to have this much liquid at all in the atmosphere, this tiny bit, and you get this much snow out of it. So there's simple terms of what that means. So the higher the snow ratio, the more snow you get. Now, it's a very dry and powdery snow. You can't do anything with it. You can't build a snowman. I guess you can eat the stuff, but if you sneeze, it'll all blow away, that kind of deal. So now we've got that squared away. High snow ratio, a little bit more on the water equivalent side of things. Here's another short-term model, and it's got water equivalent around 0.43, 0.42 here around the Norman, Newcastle, south side of Oklahoma City. And this stretches along I-40 east and west, even out here western Oklahoma. So you can see a very thin, narrow band. This is called a I know we talked about bombogenesis before. This is called frontogenesis, where there's an actual frontal boundary developing in the mid-levels as this Arctic air continues to push southward. At the same time, the storm system comes in from the west. So it causes a little bit of convergence. You get a lot of lift and a lot of rising motion in that region of air, and that causes a boundary, and that boundary is a focus for moisture and to form, to congeal, and then all of a sudden you get precipitation out of it, and you get more, and you get more, and you get more, and there's a feedback mechanism involved, so you end up getting quite a bit of precipitation out of a very thin, narrow corridor. But we've talked about that for a few days, and that's what's going to continue. So again, we're looking at 0.3, 0.4 as far as precipitation is concerned. So what do you do with that? All right, well, you take that 10 to 1, or 20 to 1 actually. If it was 10 to 1, that would equal 4 inches of snow. All right, if it's 20 to 1, it's 8 inches of snow. Yeah, that's the monkey wrench I'm talking about. And that was unforeseen. This is also why you don't give forecasted snowfall amounts beyond 48 hours, because things always change. And even at the final hour, I mean, we're talking about the 11th hour here, well, literally almost here in an hour and a half, they're still changing. So what does it do for snow totals here in the south side of the metro? 8 inches of snow. That's ridiculous. That stretches east and west again along that I-40 corridor. Keep in mind that that boundary can just kind of do a little bit of this overnight, or it may park itself in the north side of town. It could park itself just south of the metro. Look, we can't get that fine-tuned for you, but we can say it's if you're underneath that, because we're only talking about a difference of a few miles, you're going to get a pounding as far as snow is concerned. So that is the new thing that I've looked at tonight. But now keep in mind, these are just the highest resolution models that we have on the short term, which haven't really been tested yet for this kind of a deal for snowfall amounts. So I'm still leery to buy the output. If we go to our other trusted models we've used over time, let's see, which one is this one? This is, the high resolution Canadian model. It's been pretty consistent. It's got that band east to west. It's actually on the north side of I-40 this time around versus the south side like some of the others. And it's got pockets up around, was that 3 to 4 inches of snow. All right, so, okay, that jives. And then, of course, heavier out in western parts of the state and into the panhandle. All right, here's another. And this is the, let's see, which one is this? Okay, the GFS. We've showed you this before. And it's got 3 to 4 inches of snow from the metro back out to the west. So jives with the prior forecast is pretty good. Each run is kind of up the amounts just a little by a hair. So we went from that 1 to 2 to 2 to 3, and now they're kind of going, okay, let's just go 2 to 4. So 2 to 4 is a safer bet as far as the snowfall totals go along this area. And then finally, and this one really hasn't been tested either. This is the highest resolution NAM model that we have, and yes, you're going to hear me say high resolution a lot because those are the models that we look at, which are very detailed. It's like taking a mesh grid with squares this big. Now put in 1 million tiny squares within that. So that's how many more data points you have. And the more data points you have in theory, the better the output's going to be. But remember, garbage in is garbage out with any computer model. So across the state, there's that east to west boundary. This has got close to 3.5 to 4 inches right smack dab in Oklahoma County. So I'm fairly confident, yes, that we're going to see at least 2 to 3 inches of snow. Will we see more? Some of you, yes. Will you see less? Some of you, for sure. Look at the map here on the screen. Northeast Oklahoma, not a whole lot. Far southeast Oklahoma, not a whole lot either. Probably just either flurries or very light dusting. Let's see. I wanted to show you the other one here. This is the, we showed this other night, the SREF. This is the ensemble run with many different runs that go different directions. You kind of nudge it, the equations, you put in different variables, and you see what the outcome does. And what we do is we look for a median of that, and we look at the outliers, the statistical outliers. So in this particular case, zoom one in here, the top scale goes to 4 inches. This is Oklahoma City. Bottom scale is 0 here on the left. So each of these little runs indicate a value. So this little black line here represents that first wave of snow is 2 inches here in the metro. Of course, that moves out. The second wave comes in late morning to around lunchtime, and that tops us out another inch. So basically 2 inches for the first round, an inch for the second round. That's 3 inches of snow. Hey, I got no problem buying that. I've been on board with that here for a while. That said, he's got a lot of outliers that say, all right, maybe we get 2 inches of snow in that second round. Why? Because we got a 25 to 1 snow ratio. The first one, this got a lot of outliers. Now it's going up to the north to where the bell curve shifted on the higher end, closer to 3 inches. So if you were to take that for what it is. That could be 3 inches in the first round, 2 inches in the second. You got 5 inches here in Oklahoma City. 5 inches is a lot different than 1 to 2. 5 inches is a lot different than 2 to 3. 5 inches is still different from 2 to 4. So that's the snow game, and that is why I caution you when it comes to snowfall forecasting projection. It is the worst thing meteorologists have to do. We hate this stuff just because it is so impossible. It is the biggest educated guessing game there is. And yeah, computer models can help out. You know, we can use them as guidance, but other than that, that's about all we have. So I'm gonna see if there's anything else I want to talk about, and it looks like that was about it. So in a nutshell, and that was a very long, cracked nutshell, you now know there will be a very heavy band of snow tonight that will move in here within the next couple of hours and will stay with us overnight through the early morning hours, move off, another round moves in. Concentrated snowfall totals anywhere, again, I'm going to go on the conservative side, of 2 to 4 inches will be from the I-40 corridor east and west, from Oklahoma City east and Oklahoma City west out toward the state line. And I'm sure somebody somewhere in there is going to get something higher than that, 5 inches maybe. Now, if we wake up in the morning and there's already 3 inches of snow on the ground, let's say there's 4, then I've got to give kudos to those new models that haven't been tested yet in this situation, because that means they performed flawlessly. Now, do I believe that'll happen? I don't think so. But hey, I can be surprised, and it'll be a learning experience for me and many other Mets out there that use this stuff. So we're excited. It's a good time for meteorology anyway, with all the technology and what we're able to do, and with these different equations, and actually put them in supercomputers and let them go to town. So there you have it. So that is your Facebook Live tonight, from the office here rather than the Walmart office. I do have a couple of minutes here if you do have any quick questions for me. If you've already kind of got what you need, you can sign off, or if you just want to hang out, you can more than welcome to do that too. Please share with your friends and family. I might try to do another update tomorrow. I'm not sure how things are going to work. I may actually run live radar as a live feed on my YouTube channel, and then show that and share that with you, so you can watch the snow coming in that way. Just kind of think of some things to do here at the last minute. And if you don't have my weather app, check it out, AT's Weather to Go. And I think that's about it. So we'll see. A couple of questions. There's always going to be the milk and the bread questions. That's always a good one. You've got birthday cake. I could use some birthday cake. Will it affect travel towards the Texas Panhandle? I'm sure it will. Not exempt because the snow is wet. That's not so much the issue. It's just there's going to be a lot of it to where on a big interstate. So you're about to get melting from the tires, and then that'll refreeze because it's cold outside, well below freezing. So I'm sure you're going to have slick spots out there for sure. I cannot speak on behalf of school closings or business closings or even my work. I can't speak on that either. I'd like for those guys to go to work at 4:30 and go, man, let's close the place today. That's what I'm rooting for. If I can get a snow day, we can all get a snow day. Like Oprah Winfrey, you get a snow day, you get a snow day, you get a snow day. Okay, so a few of the questions. Ada, probably dusting down there, unless that storm system shifts south for some reason, which, again, you know, it can happen just a little bit. We're only talking a difference of a few miles. Oklahoma's not that large. How much do you bench? All bodybuilding questions will be diverted. Let's see, how many, so I'm just getting into this. Did you say buckets of snow? Man, that'd be a good terminology to use. Let's see, Tammy Lee's just not coming online. For those of you folks that missed me talking about what's happening and why and all that stuff, you can always rewatch the video. As soon as I wrap up here, it'll repost, and then you can just drag your cursor around to the points to where I start showing maps, or if you want to hear me bloviate the whole time, you're more than welcome. All right. Yeah, Stillwater. Because a lot of the questions you guys are asking are what we had on the maps. So just shooting off the hip here. So Tulsa is probably going to be about ½ inch of snow, maybe an inch, especially on the south side of town. Same thing with Stillwater, probably get about an inch there. Enid, about an inch. Those are all safe bets. If that system shifts just a little bit more north, you'll get just a hair more. If it shifts more south, it's the same thing, just opposite. And say we said southern Oklahoma, you're looking at about a ½ inch to an inch in most areas from just north of Ardmore toward Ada, that's McAllister. As far southeast Oklahoma, I doubt you'll see much. just some flurries. Let's see. People want Tinker to close. Let's see. Paul's Valley, yep, a little bit of snow down there. Probably, I don't know, maybe it looks like about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. Again, that depends on that band. I mean, you guys, I know you guys are like, well, do you really know what it's going to do? Yeah, I know it's going to snow. And I know some of you are going to get a lot of it, and some of you are going to get very little and going to be upset. That's just the way it goes. Sorry, you can't compete with a Thunder game. It's over now, so you'll be getting new views. Anytime I go on live with a Thunder game on, the views are terrible. You guys are like serious hardcore Thunder fans. I'm impressed. Even a snowstorm coming in can't get you distracted. It's incredible. You are like Thunderholics. Let's see. Could you do a reality show? Actually, I've been on 2 of them, but I can't tell you what they are yet, and I can't talk about it. But at some point, I will, and then who knows? Maybe I'll lead to something else. I do enjoy just being ridiculous. That's just part of my nature. With Melissa and I together, it's hysterical. We often just kid ourselves and go, we should have our conversations recorded because they are so stupidly ridiculous. I mean, it's a laugh a minute, and then at the same time, we're the complete biggest idiots you'll ever meet. So it is like just the funniest combination. But we laugh ourselves and have a good time. So until we start surrounding ourselves with cameras, I don't think it's going to happen. Let's see. So Lori's like, go Thunder. Yep. Did they even win tonight? So I wasn't paying attention. I'm on here live talking to you guys, so I didn't say it. Milk and bread sales just skyrocketed. Well, Jeff, they need to. I did I did a Facebook Live at Walmart earlier this evening to see if that milk and bread run was true. And at my store, well, you're just going to have to watch the video. I'm not going to give it away. It's only 5 minutes or 4 minutes though, not too long. I think you might like it. Let's see. I want to build a snowman. On it, you can't do it here, I'm afraid. You'd have to travel way out west. The snow here would be very dry, very powdery, so it's going to be really hard to build a snowman. The lost by 2, oh man. Thunder. That's alright. Hey, NBA basketball is crazy. You got these wild swings where you're just riding high, and then you get it's like Vegas or something, or like a craps table. It just goes cold, and then it get hot again. Just don't ever bet against them. Or on a craps table. Bad juju. All right. So those of you folks tuning in, a lot of repeat questions of what am I going to get? And my answer is a lot or a little. We went through all the maps a moment ago. So just to make that easy for you, just go back to this live as soon as it's over, and then you can just scan through to where you get to the snowfall map so you can check it out. But in general terms, it's anywhere from a dusting to 4 inches common. Some places are probably going to get a couple inches more than that. And the most likely for that would be along I-40 corridor from Oklahoma City out to the west. So why are some forecasters saying 1 to 2 and others 3 to 4? Can't speak on behalf of other forecasters because there's so many, and I do not have time to follow any or all of them. It's too busy doing my own things, so I don't know what they say, but the model data has been all over the place, so I can tell you with anything with the snowfall, it's always an educated guess, and you're either going to guess right, or you're going to guess wrong, or maybe no one gets it right. We've been in some of those deals where the snow comes in and just doesn't quite get here, like stalls just west of town or something. Those are the frustrating ones. Anyway. So yeah, everybody's gonna get snow tonight, and probably be a lot of school closings just because it's Oklahoma, and I'm sure there'll be a few work closings. I'm sure there's gonna be some accidents. I'm sure there'll be some slick spots. It's a Oklahoma winter storm, although not the biggest and baddest. It's still a significant one. But as we said, keep in mind, the snow ratios will be very high, which means the snow will be very dry, very powdery, very airy. It'll blow away real easy. So that's it. All right. So, and also remember, you can use your phone apps for your Google Maps or something like that to check on road conditions and see if they're all red. If they're painted red, it means either there's accidents galore or everybody's driving really slow. That's your best deal for icy roads. It works every time. Every time. I do it just to say, okay, 3, 2. Oh, there it goes, turns red. That kind of a deal. It's not like clockwork. Um, do the model show another winter weather event in the near future? Yes. Dun dun dun. But nothing we'll talk about now. Deleted all apps but ATS. Well, I hope not, John. You gotta have something on your phone. You got the Facebook for one. But no, thank you though for using AT's Weather to Go. If you haven't tried my app out, give it a try. Hey, if it's not for you, that's fine. You're not gonna hurt my feelings. It's free. There's a lot of stuff on there. Just make sure you play around with it, get to know it, become familiar with it, like best buddies, and see if you like it. All right, we're supposed to go to McAllister. Paige wants to know for Jurassic Quest, will roads be okay? I can tell you this: the precipitation will be over with by late tomorrow, Friday afternoon. So late tomorrow afternoon, and then however the road conditions are Friday night, they're likely to be that way early Saturday morning, and then they'll improve as the day goes on a little bit, just because of some of the ground heat, maybe some of the traffic, some insulation from the sun. Even though temperatures should still be below freezing, and Saturday morning temperatures still should be single digits, which I didn't even look at the newest model day to see if they caught on that. They were behind the curve on those temperatures. They weren't quite cold enough like I thought they should be. Let me see. See if I can find one that actually has some numbers that I like. See, that's what sometimes you just look at the models, you pick one that you like, because you're not going to agree with all of them. Some of them you may not agree with any of them. You have to just wing it. Let's see, 24 hours. What? I can't even think what day is this. 36. I need Saturday at 12. Okay. I'm going to flip this over. Okay. So flipping this over, yeah, they're all over the place. Like, for example, 4 degrees jumps to 16 degrees. So a little bit of, I think it's doing some heat urban island effect business. It's also probably doing some lake business. You can see the little lakes showing up here as hot bodies, almost like a radiation map. Here, let's do this so you can see better. I understand some of you have small screens and you can't quite see, so we'll make this big. How about that? So these are all temperatures here in the single digits and teens. Where the purple is, you're down close to 0 degrees in the morning on Saturday. So like I said, it might be the coldest morning, it's the old pipe bursting temps that we'll see out there. But the snow will be long gone, and it'll be still hanging around this weekend. Then we gradually get above freezing just a hair on Sunday, and then after that we warm up. So anything that's out there will be gone probably by Monday or Tuesday at the latest. And that means it's probably even in the shadows. So, all right. Well, I'll tell you what. Appreciate you watching AT's Weather. I hope it was both informal and entertaining, and you got what you needed out of it. Like I said, it's just another Oklahoma snow event, which I'm kind of glad to see. I like the snow, so I'm happy on the inside. My inner kid is rejoicing. But I'll try to either post some other images if something changed or updates. If I'm working tomorrow, I won't be doing a Facebook Live because I'll be working. And the event will be over by the time I get home anyway. So, like I said, I may post something, an update at lunch or in the morning. But that's going to be about it. So enjoy the weather. As my friend Joe Bastardi says, it's the only weather you got. All right, take care, everybody. Good night.